Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. It's
Hey,
one of our favorite days. Friday,
man,
April 24th. Love Supreme Friday is going down right now. It's fired up.
let's start the show.
First Sky Omaha in the morning. Money. And a good morning to you once again. You're tuned in, tapped into a fresh edition, First Sky
Hey.
Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. And we're here to meet up with you, the chat chimers. We're here to talk about a little news, ghost listeners.
Yeah.
And we're here to make people mad,
Are we?
monitoring spirits.
Hey, okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. It is Friday. We like to call this Love Supreme Friday because Love Supreme to us is all about what your art is, what kind of person you are, what kind of family you hang with, living alive with one another, doing your art, doing all the things that life is worth living for and fighting for.
Man,
So,
finding the beauty in life.
that's right. We can talk about all this stuff all week, all the stuff. But for what? For what are we so mad about this world being like it is? It's because it hinders us from doing the things we love. So we'll focus on that a little bit today. But of course, there's too much news out here to just talk about
Hey,
Love Supreme stuff. So we'll definitely have to dive in and catch us up on some things. And as you saw earlier, we do have a special guest coming in. Another congressional candidate, Melanie Williams, is going to join us today. So get your questions ready for her. She's an interesting person. From the things that I'm reading, I'm looking forward to meeting her.
yeah.
Shout out to Anthony Rogers Wright who made the connection there on that. So yeah, we'll be speaking to her.
Makes sense.
right. Yeah, it's going down. I say play Leia Keiser in the chat with the Friday yippee skippies, buddy.
I think it's my turn.
Me.
Happy Friday, yip yay, yo yippee, yo yippee, yo yip yay, yip yo yay yippee.
That was smooth. You got some sleep last night, I can tell.
I got some rest last night. Yeah.
There you go.
Gets the brain going.
Gets it going. Pops gives us a good Friday morning. Mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. Also, Michelle Moreno gives us a good everyone. Good. Yeah, just good. I love it. Marlon Harrison says, good morning, First Guy family, and happy TGIF to everyone. There you go. Also, RG says, morning, y'all. Went to bed last night finding out a friend of mine plans on running for chair of NDP. Okay. Who's this? Yeah, let us know what's happening there. Yeah, that's what's up. We always appreciate people who decide they're going to run, put their money where their mouth is, and get out there and try to make some difference in the political power game lane.
Man.
Yeah, why not? Many lanes of change. We focus on 7 of them. Political power is one of them. It is tis the season right now as well, because the primaries are coming up, and I'm talking about coming up. It's the 24th of April right now. Primaries in May, right? So, yeah, lots to be thinking about here coming up here shortly.
Man, brain's already going. Yeah, I definitely got some rest last night. Brain's already going. Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, aside from your rest, how else are you doing today, buddy? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good. Definitely. It's Friday, so looking forward to the weekend. I'm hearing a lot of excitement around this Michael Jackson film. I don't know. I might feeling like I might spend some time in the theater this weekend. Also seeing that Mario Brothers came out with another film that might be something to debate. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Second Mario Brothers came out, man. Yeah. So some of the favorite characters, some of the favorite people making the big screen.
Man, you talk about a dynasty. You talk about a long-lasting property. Mario.
Man.
You talking about the Mario from when I used to play video games in the 80s?
Mario Brothers. Hey, I don't know if you've been seeing the films. Pretty decent films, man. And the kids. Apparently, my kids have discovered Michael Jackson at school somehow. Actually, my daughters were moonwalking all through the studio last night, so might take them to go see Mike too.
Yeah, I feel that. I people that don't usually go out and do much have already called me like, yeah, we getting together and going to see Michael this weekend. Yeah, interesting stuff, man. Phenomenon. I heard it was. I heard it was. It was good. I heard it was not just good, but well done and everything
That
else. I
part.
mean, all good reviews. You know.
That
So
part. And
yeah,
actually, when it'll be connected to maybe some stories we could get to in, today on this Love Supreme Friday, talking about films and storytelling and who's telling the story, how the story's been told. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there you go. Sean McCarthy gives us a morning first guy team and chimers. Good morning. Good morning. Michelle
Hey,
Moreno gives us a good morning, everyone. Sipping on the coffee. I heard that. Definitely had to have my drunk ship this morning myself. So it's going
man.
down. I'm going to go ahead and jump into a few of the community updates that we got today. Of course, there's always an extensive amount of them on a Friday because we always are trying to dig in and see what good is happening this weekend that we can jump into. If you got anything that you that we're missing that you are interested in doing, and and anything that's good you think you should let us in on, let us in on it. Please put it in the chat. Put it in Friends of First Guy Omaha, the group page. Let us know what's going on around town.
Hey,
First and foremost, we got to make sure that we let you know that we have this going on right here at the Content Creator Camp that's also going to start up here in a matter of a couple weeks. So we're definitely looking for some folks. It would be great if we can get maybe 8 folks involved this time around. But however many show up is however many we will continue with the camp. So let us know. Hit us up at firstguyomaha@gmail.com if you're interested. A couple people I want to reach out to personally to see if they would be interested. Some folks I've talked to in the past that are interested in the kind of stuff we do. So definitely want to, if you've talked to anybody who has any inclination on working with social media stuff or citizen journalism stuff, if they're writers, if they got things that they're upset about, if they want some help to write some things, that's the kind of stuff, the kind of folks we're looking for. And of course, young people, if we can get young people in, that would be awesome. But all ages, welcome for sure. Accepting participants now. Contact us at firstguyomaha@gmail.com. Become a trusted source. Use your creator skills. Become a citizen journalist. Hold those in power accountable, which is what this whole thing is about. Fourth estate, baby. It's going down. So
man.
four part workshop is happening. It'll be a couple hours a week on Saturdays for the 4 weeks. That's the time commitment there. Love for you to be a part of it. It's just a good time for us to all kind of get together. As a matter of fact, Buddy will be in town,
Yeah,
be
man.
part of it, and we can all kind of meet up, live alive with one another, all that good stuff.
Man, man, and just want to give a shout out to Marlon Harrison. Content creators, alumni. Been you found a niche kind of as a man about town. Man, he's been reporting and letting us know what's going on. Speaking of community updates, check out his reports and things, his posts on Friends of First Guy. Man, shout out to Marlon. Shout out.
Shout out to Marlon. That's what's up. Appreciate him. Shout out to Miss Erica Felt,
Yeah,
who
yeah,
did some things as well. I mean, it's good stuff. Shout out to Vince Furlong. We're gonna have to get with him on some
hey,
things. He's an alumni too, doing big things over at Documenters. Our partners at Documenters. So yeah. We're seeing some fruits of the efforts here for the last couple of years on that. Shout out to Mama God. Mama God just
hey,
dropped some things too. She's one of from the first class. So yeah, man. Yeah, we want to continue this up. Please hit us up. Let us know if you want to be a part of this. Just come hang out with us and learn a few things on being a citizen journalist. What it's all about.
man,
I also want to dig into what's coming up here. We got a few things happening in town. Lunch and learn with our friends over there at Elevator Spaces. This popped out to me because all of our businesses need help with marketing. So I'm always looking for places in situations that's got marketing resources out there for us. Let us know. This is for small business owners, freelancers, and small marketing teams that have a lot to juggle. Speaking from experience, yes, we really do. And sometimes the marketing falls through the cracks. So here's some situation here where you'll be able to learn about some resources for marketing for small business. This is happening Tuesday to the 14th. Oh, wait a minute. Does this pass already? Oh, man, this one passed. My bad. I was thinking it was the 24th. It's the 14th.
he
Yeah,
time
yeah,
boss.
yeah. We'll tap back into Lunch and Learn though because they got a lot of good series going on, and we'll see. Sometimes they post these as well. We'll go see if they posted the live stream of this. Bring it to you. But be looking out for Elevator Spaces. They got a lot of free events and things over there to learn for small business and stuff like that. They've been really good with these Lunch and Learns over there, so check them out. Also, the Green Book is closing
Man,
down. I don't know if you guys got over there to see the Green Book yet, but the Durham Museum has this Green Book exhibit, and they're saying get out there by the 30th because this is about to go. It's been going on for a while. As a matter of fact, it's been going on since February 7th. May 3rd is the last day for it. If you haven't gone to see this, check it out. Buddy asked me earlier if I saw the Green Book movie. I was like, nah, but I'll go see this. I'll go see this. I'll go see this. So shout out to the Durham Museum for putting this on display. Also shout out to the Black Plains, what's it called? Black History Museum, the Great Plains
Hmm.
Black History Museum, who
Right.
also has some exhibits on Green Book, and I think they worked with them on this one over at Durham. But yeah, if you haven't got a chance to go see this, please go check it out. I heard it's a great exhibit,
Man.
and yeah, you only got limited time to check it out yet. So definitely do that. Also, there's a plant sale. Shout out to Clarice Dombeck, who's always giving us the inside information on stuff that's being grown on the Deuce. She's one of those kind of green thumb ladies. She's letting us know there's a plant sale going on. Don't go to Home Depot out there and just pick your stuff. Go check this out first. This is right
Hey.
here in 3802 North 24th Street. It's going down April 25th, May 10th, and 11th from 10 to 2. Go ahead and get your local plants. Get that going. It is the season. I do hear a lot of people who call themselves, plant parents, and they love to go ahead and get that going in the springtime. Whether it's stuff that they need to have herbs, if they need to get native seeds, even if it's just flowers, if they're growing food. A lot of people are digging in, even with countertop plants and stuff like that they can kind of do. I'm doing one myself. I'm gonna try to get some herbs going in the windowsill
Okay.
here.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
ask. Yeah, got some tomatoes going.
Now, I don't got the tomatoes going, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm thinking about trying to do a raised planter over at my mom's house and see. She wants to get down, but she don't want to get all the way down. So I got to do
Right. Okay.
a raised bed for her. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, plant sale this Saturday at Manderson Market, 3802 North 24th Street from 10 to 2. Show up, get your plants.
Hey.
Big time. Also, shout out to Terrell McKinney, Senator Terrell McKinney. Put some respect on his name. North Omaha LD 11 Town Hall meeting is happening Thursday, the 30th. So get ready for that. So he can kind of break down some of the things that's happening. He says, join us to recap the 2026 legislative session, discuss interim studies, and dialogue with Senator McKinney on other related community issues. It's going down at the North Omaha Visitor Center. I'm calling the new Black City Hall.
Hey.
Definitely go check it out. Shout out to Preston Love and the Visitor Center and everybody working hard over there. And and having all these very important meetings over there as well. So North Omaha LD 11 Town Hall is happening Thursday the 30th. Put it on your calendar. Come on through. Appreciate that very, very much. Also, there's a cleanup that's happening too, North 24th Street. You know that we're trying to be active in the revitalization of North 24th, the Deuce. And this is something that's going down right here on the Deuce. Spring cleanup, community cleanups happening Saturday the 25th from 9 to 11. Volunteers meet at Goodwin Heritage Garden. That's 3118 North 24th Street. There's going to be free dumpsters. What you can't put in there is tires, paint, concrete, shingles, and other chemicals. But you can dump pretty much anything else until the dumpsters get filled up. So if you're part of this team here, we appreciate you. If you're not, then maybe you want to go out there and help volunteer, do a little community cleanup. Saturday 25th. There you go. We got more to come on that, but we're going to break right now. We'll save some of the haps for a little later on in the show. And right now we'll jump into what today's thread is so we can get to talking about what we're talking about before our special guest comes in. Congressional candidate Melanie Williams is going to join us here pretty soon. But before that, in the meantime, between time, buddy, what's the thread today? What's happening?
Man, just a little quick sidebar just on that spring cleanup idea, man. Hey, I've gone out to a couple of those. They actually have in our area, the Hartman area, where Mama Guy lives, they have the spring cleanup right behind their house. Sometimes you find some good stuff. People trying to throw away some good stuff. Hey, not all that stuff is broken up trash. You might find you a good chair, a good couch, good
Ooh.
bicycle for the kids or something. People trying to get rid of. So never
One
know, never
one
know.
man's trash is another man's future trash. I know.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Time. It's all about time.
Hey, there you go. There you go. There you go. Speaking of time, man, it's time to go ahead and get into today's thread. Man, we're going to be talking about a lot, but it is Love Supreme Friday, so try to round back and end off with that. But of course, as Paul mentioned earlier, we do have a guest coming through, Sister Melanie Williams, who's also running for Congress in District 2. Again, we just had John Kavanaugh on Wednesday and continuing our coverage as we draw closer to the midterm election. So yeah, have your questions ready for Sister Williams. But in the meantime, between time, other things to dive into. Of course, looking at some development on the north side. Actually, speaking of development, there's some money out there as we've been, laying it out here in this season to follow the money and starting off our shows with the affirmative against some positive things that are going in the direction that we like to see. Shout out to the Omaha Inland Port Authority and Omaha 100. Again, there's some money out there, y'all. Some money out there for y'all. I'll say that. So definitely going to be talking about that. Also, again, we kind of been mentioning it, dancing around it, but definitely want to dive more into this uh, growth. Really, we're seeing of private, public, partnerships. Of course, there's a lot of comments around this Miller Park situation.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely want to talk about that. Shout out to the Miller Park Neighborhood Association, actually keeping us in mind, dropping some news on us on Friends of. So if you haven't seen that, definitely going to talk about that. Also, developments on the north side. Got to talk about this grocery store that's coming. Shout out to our partners at Heart Ministry Center, and then also some changes, some laws. Definitely want to talk about this liquor license at I know it as J&J's, but TNA Groceries over on 42nd. Yeah, this is very interesting developments. Definitely want to hear your thoughts on that one. But as I mentioned, also getting into a little Love Supreme. There's a film that's being produced, talking about the story of Chief Standing Bear. But there's some follow the money issues going on, actual lawsuit in the making, according to Nebraska State Auditor. So kind of diving into that. Also, some sports things, some money coming as far as sports going. We always talk about what is there to do for our youth. So we're going to dive into that. And then, of course, as I mentioned, we have our candidate for Congress, Melanie Williams, coming through. So speaking to her about not just that, but what's going on the federal level and the state level. Of course, Nebraska just changed medical marijuana to a Schedule 3 drug. It's a lot of going on. Some more money for ICE, some things to get into. So again, we're here for the next 2 hours. I'm gonna, try to get into it all and hopefully get your thoughts on it. As always, let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. See a few people checking in with us. Alan Faison, Sister Kimra, top of the morning to you. Heather Williams checking in. Pops, yeah. Good morning, everybody. Let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
What's the word?
Let's take a quick break and we'll jump back into the chat here and catch up on the chat and then also catch up on some of these stories that we're talking about too before we get to our guests. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's buddy to God. Stay
Paul
tuned,
B.
y'all. Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning. Paul B, buddy to God. All of you chat chimers, I see you guys going off, man. I appreciate you guys getting up early with us this morning. If you miss any parts of this show, though, if you have to get in and out today, if you're running around, that's cool. You can always come back a little later on today and check out the show in its entirety on YouTube. And while you're there, do us a favor, like and subscribe, all that good stuff over there. And also tell a friend, share the show. As a matter of fact, if you're on Facebook, please share the show on your page so we can get as many people in on the live as possible. And if you're on YouTube, share the link to somebody who might be needing a little bit of discussion and talk and some uplifting communication this morning. Hopefully is what it is that we'll be bringing to you. So shout out to everybody who's getting up. I see Michelle Moreno gives a good morning. I see Pop says, I love playing Super Mario back in the day. Did you, Pops? I didn't know that.
Okay.
See, this is back in the day game for real.
Yeah, man.
RG says y'all might have to do a segment Marlon on the street. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, Marlon's already doing it. He's doing it.
Yeah.
He's doing it already. Kimber gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you. Also, Ariel's 402 says sprouts for inside gardening. That's what I need. Need to figure out a little bit of inside gardening for me for sure. I want some herbs and cilantro and stuff on the counter. So yeah, plant season. It is spring. Definitely get your plants and get that going for sure. Also, Kimber, you got Nancy breathing. Okay, I don't know what y'all talking about over there. Heather Williams, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Also, Kimmer says we always had a metal scraper come and collect items. Go cash it in, donate to our neighborhood association during spring cleanup. What a good idea!
I'm saying it's hey, it ain't all just trash over there. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Collect that metal. Come on through. Get beef up the neighborhood associations. I love that. That's what's going on. Also, Kimmer says Gary Garnett, councilman before Palermo, would use them as opportunities to take the
Associations.
association's coffee and chat. Okay, so you're talking about people in the sitting in office using the cleanups to get together with the neighborhoods. Good, it was a great idea as well. Yeah, for sure. Cousin, what's happening? Alan Faison in the chat. He said, "Good morning, First Sky." Also, Pop. Pop's giving us love for the track. RG says y'all are gonna have to take that clip of Mary Ewing and turn it into a reel. We only engage in legitimate journalists. He just, it's already happening. Trust us.
It's on the way. It's on the way.
17 viewers, 3 likes. My math isn't mathing. Make it make sense. Hit the like button. Yeah, please do that for sure. And what we learned about these, what viewers are showing, they don't always show how many people are actually watching, and we still haven't figured out exactly how they do the counting. But we always come back later and be, oh, there was way more people watching than we thought. Okay, cool. It wasn't giving us live indications like it needs be. But yes, tell a friend, hit the like button, come on through. Let's get the conversation rolling, and let people know that we got another congressional candidate coming on. Melanie Williams is coming through. We'll be talking to her. She's saying she's a socialist democratic socialist. How do you say the term?
Democratic socialist is
Democratic
the term I'm hearing.
Yeah, and we've been talking about another cat that is that out in New York.
Mamdani, he's getting things done. Yeah, he's getting things done. So hey, we'll see.
I'll just put it to you like this: she's got believes in universal health care. So we got some things to talk about when she comes on. In the meantime, between time though, we're gonna go ahead and jump into these stories in anticipation of our guest, Buddy. What's first on the roster?
Well, it is follow the money, so we're gonna hopefully lead you to the money and let you know where it's at. Starting off the show, and again, big shout out to Omaha Inland Port Authority, who is launching. We've talked about it in the past, but definitely want to reiterate and let people know, man, and for you to let people know as well. $300,000 fund to help specifically North Omaha entrepreneurs find success. Again, this is coming out of the Inland Port Authority in their impact fund, as reported by KMTV. Again, $300,000 for this fund to help entrepreneurs secure financing and drive real change in the community. Shout out to brother Gary Clark with 2 R's. He says that the organization is looking for businesses ready to make an impact, noting that many face barriers to entry, mainly one of those being dollars, capital to start. He says we want to try to at least infuse some dollars. The money will go toward businesses that are already in the North Omaha boundary or are willing to relocate within. So again, we've talked about the boom of businesses over 200% or something over the last couple of years, black owned businesses in North Omaha. But of course, the question, where are they located? Are they brick and mortar? Are they online? Are they in North Omaha? There's some incentive to make sure that that's a thing as far as the businesses, again, relocating to North Omaha. Clark also says bringing more businesses to the area is a catalyst for providing a steady, vibrant life for residents. He also goes on to say they have a job to be able to provide for the American dream, which is a home and a place to enjoy and operate in. And some of this is tied to having a livable wage. So again, shout out to brother Gary Clark, who again we had here on the show. He definitely has some ideas about how to make some things happen. And this is one of them. The Impact Fund, again, $300,000 available for entrepreneurs in the boundary, in the realm of the Inland Port Authority, which I believe stretches well into North Omaha, going around the 20th area. Actually, I believe even stretching all the way up into Ames, as you see. Yep, as you see on your screen, part of 30th and Ames. Pretty good swath in North Omaha, man. So there's an opportunity.
Just to remind you, last time we had them on, we talked about that was going to be one of the first places that they were investing in, that 30th and Ames Street area. Here's the map again to kind of see where that area is. And again, it's not just businesses that are in this area, but businesses that want to move to this area too.
Yeah, man.
And he also reminded us that there's some millions coming for this kind of development as well. This 300,000 is just the start, just the beginning, just some money he got to get his hands on right now out of the program to be able to start helping plant some seeds here. The more that I get to know this brother right here, the more I'm seeing what kind of visionary he really is and how capable he really is. And every time I talk to him, I get more and more excited about the fact that he is the one that is heading up this Inland Port Authority situation here. So what we can, well, I'm down to have him back on the show and talk a little bit more about that. But I think that at this point, if you have a business or if you have ideas for a business in the area, I think it's really important now to start reaching out to him, start having some conversation about it, talk about it, make some plans, do some things. There's going to be a lot of money coming into the area over the next few years. And there's sky's the limit on the ideas.
Man.
I'm gonna just tell you that. I've been privy to some of the inside conversations on some of that stuff that I can't even talk about yet. And sky's the limit with the ideas. I highly encourage you guys to get down, ask some questions. If you have any inclination, if you have any plans in the next year or two to do business or to start something or whatever, I mean, you can, even if you have no plans to do it, even if you're just thinking of something now to start, it'll still be around. There'll still be some resources around in some of this area here for the Inland Port Authority. So I'm more and more excited about it the more I learn, and we'll definitely keep talking about it for sure.
Yeah, and as far as again to reiterate Paul's point, there's no limit to the type of business. Again, per the article, it says it's a wide range. It could be manufacturing, it could be a mom and pop shop, it could be research and development, it could be a whole plethora of things. And again, to Kimra's point, these are grants. This fund is a grant, so that's money you don't have to pay back. Again, Kimra saying they have about 300,000 in grants available right now. That's right now, with also another 1.4 or 1.2 or so million in loans that will be available for small businesses in the area. Which again, those you will have to pay back. But we're talking very, very small, slim um, um, interest rates for these. Again, very favorable.
Low interest rates, right?
Right. Want to put that point as well as far as the interest on some of these loans that will be coming through the Inland Port Authority. Very favorable as well. Also, speaking of favorable loans, while we're talking about the money getting to the bag, shout out to Omaha 100, who is also looking to help businesses out there. Again, they are posting on Friends of and all their social media sites. And we're excited to announce the launch of our startup microloan program at Omaha 100, designed for entrepreneurs who are ready to start. And I'm ready to start. You notice the Omaha 100, the Inland Port Authority, don't come with your half-cocked ideas. Ready to start. Let's do our due diligence. And there's money out there. This program provides access to capital along with the guidance and support needed to move forward with confidence. Through the Omaha 100 Capital Access Program, we are committed to expanding access to capital, especially for those who may not yet qualify for traditional financing. So again, if you don't have the credit score, if you are kind of, shaky on your finances and things like that, there is help out there. Loans are up to $10,000. Character-based lending approach. Speaking of, again, the credit score, if you don't have per se the financial profile that might attract the more popular mainstream lenders and capital organizations, Omaha 100, again, character-based lending. What is your story? What is your character? What are you trying to provide? Shout out to the Omaha 100 for this opportunity. Paul, what say you, man? You've been kind of going to the Revive meeting, seeing a lot of these opportunities up close. What's the word?
I have. You stressed earlier to be ready.
Yes.
Do our due diligence. But I will say that they are not just going to be sitting there like you ain't ready. They got some things to help you get ready. They not just the favorable interest rates on the loans, for instance, as one of the things, but also just considering your ID in the first place, because that's a lot of that. When you go to try to get a loan from a bank, when you go to try to get your business, financing for your business, they don't just look at your numbers or look at your due diligence. They look at you and they think, oh, is this a good idea? They have to kind of make a decision on that. So the fact that you can sit with especially, some of the agents they got over there, you're sitting with basically you're sitting with black women who are like, yeah, this is a good idea for our neighborhood. Let's maybe take the leap on this, and let's help you get up to speed on this, and then this, that type of thing. So I've spoken to Trey, who is a friend of ours from at Friend First Sky Omaha. He is a dude that's over there running a part of the leadership over there at Omaha 100. And we have a history with him in other areas, and he's been in control of some dollars, and he is really anxious to get with us on trying to do some education for the public as well. So this is not just opportunity for us to go and maybe get some funding for our small businesses or whatever it is we were trying to do, but also to learn more about finance, learn more about the process, and also this is a funding house that is trying to help you get qualified for funding. So look out for some education coming soon from Omaha 100 as well. Not to mention Carver Bank. Carver Bank is another entity that is doing these types of things too. Hayes and Associates are people that we just tapped to help look at our books and try to get our books and stuff straight. They're an accountant, one of the biggest accounting firms here. They have a free financial literacy program going on right now that I just joined. It's a 10-week program. So lots of resources out there to don't feel like you're in trouble if you're not ready. Just realize that there are some organizations out there that help you get ready if you're not ready as well. We got to do our due diligence. We got to look at what we need to look at. We got to make sure that our books are straight and all these things. But there's some people that'll help us do that. So I just want to really kind of stress that because that's out there. And right at the beginning, when there's some real opportunity and real big dollars coming into North Omaha, to our North and South Omaha, really, just our areas in general. Lots of new construction happening, lots of new projects coming, and there's room for a lot of people to do some things. And we need it all. When you go up and down our streets, we need it all. I had a little daydream yesterday about how Benson. Living in Benson, when I was living in Benson for the years that I was there, just thinking about what an ecosystem Benson is. You can always go get some food. Charles Drew was right on the block. CHI Health was around the corner. There's small stores there. There's places to eat, places to go see events and concerts. There was so much of an ecosystem around there, and then there was apartments all around the tops of these businesses as well. So, it's like people were living there, working there, eating there, hanging there, having meetings there, getting their insurance there. Their bank was on Dundee Bank is on the corner there. Like, we would love to have that kind of ecosystem in our neighborhoods as well. So there's so much room for so many businesses, so much that we can be bringing to our community again. And if there's anybody has any inclination to provide that, come with that, build that ecosystem out again, then there's some opportunity here and some help. So got to keep iterating that. We got to keep bringing on folks that will tell us about what that is, and we're definitely down to do that. We're going to have Trey on soon to talk a little bit about what Omaha 100 does, and all that stuff is going on behind the scenes in order to get us there, for sure. This is follow the money season. Let's figure out how to get our money followed.
Man. That part. But I'm glad you actually touched on some of those points. I do want to pivot to that as we getting close to our break here soon. But yeah, it's not just about starting the businesses, but once we get the businesses in our community, how are they supposed to act? Actually asked about some of the businesses that we need in our community. There's definitely a grocery store coming to the Deuce. How do we feel about that? But also there's some things going on with some of the traditional businesses in our community, being a liquor store right on 42nd. I definitely want to talk about some of the changes with that as well. Again, as we talk about development, especially in North and South Omaha, how are we responding and relating to the businesses in our community? Definitely going to dive into that here in a second.
Yeah, let's go to a break. Before we do that, just want to remind you the Rebuilding the Village Conference and Revive Black Business Expo is happening on May the 8th. Highly suggest you tap in here. This is kind of where, the one thing that Empowerment Network is doing is really helping create the network. So everybody who we just talked about is part of this. And the information I got was going to some of these Empowerment Network events. This is the big one. This is the yearly one, Friday, May 8th, 2026. Definitely register, rtvomaha.com. And or you can hit that QR code on the flyer that we'll put on Friends of First Sky Omaha. Definitely check it out. We'll talk more about it as we go today and for the next few weeks before it comes up. We'll definitely be talking about this and some of the things you can look forward to when it comes to this international collaboration event that's coming up. So stay tuned. In the meantime, between time, we'll be right back. We'll take a quick break and jump back into the conversation in anticipation of our guest, Melanie Williams, congressional candidate. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B. Buddy the God. Stay tuned.
Or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet explains itself. We have a fight that's common to all of us. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B. Buddy the God.
Hey,
Man, it's like gonna be in the 50s today, I think, here in Omaha. Decent weather, a little cooler than usual. So be prepared for that. I think it's gonna be some rain this next week or two. Luckily, we did not get hit by these tornadoes though, which a few places did. Some damage has been done around the Midwest and the South, as a matter of fact, when it comes to that. So somehow we escaped that so far. I don't want to speak on it too much before it comes back for me. But let's enjoy this weather, enjoy each other. We appreciate that very much. Also, I was thinking about what Kimmer had to say too. She was talking about Brother Gary. Gary has a book. She says, gave her an autographed copy of it yesterday in the coffee shop. That's a talented brother. I definitely think you got to dig in, find out who this brother is. Like I said, we'll have him back, talk a little bit more about some of the stuff that he's done for sure. I really appreciate that. She says, Marlon Harrison says, I'm glad Brother Gary is focusing on 30th and Ames with everything being focused on 24th Street, which is understandable. I feel like 30th and Ames get left out of the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's been a lot of development on 30th as well, kind of parallel. Some would say even more on 30th than on 24th in the past few years. And that 30th and Ames area does need some help. Shout out to Julian Young, who's got the Young and Associates. He's got Young Banks over there. Yeah, right. So there's a lot. There is some stuff happening. Plus, he owns the scooters right there in the corner as well. So we're always looking for that. There's food trucks and stuff across the street. I can understand that that area needs some revitalization. It's really close to the interstate, and it's really close to the airport. And I can see why that place that area needs some revitalization. It's a good spot to revitalize for sure.
Yeah. Actually, between that Ames corridor between 30th and 42nd, really, is a very historic, corridor. Yeah. I mean, you got the 2.0 over there. There's some things going on over there. Yeah. So, and actually, shout out to Shawnee Hernandez, Island Chill, who is over there. AK, he owns one of the buildings over there. So, yeah. Definitely interesting.
Let's not forget about Dreamland, the Dreamland
Lounge. Yeah. Dreamland Lounge, just with your article coming soon. Look out for that.
Most def.
But yeah, speaking of that corridor, let's go ahead and jump into this next story, that 30th to 42nd area I'm thinking of, because this is actually one of the areas that Councilwoman LaVanya Goodwin is thinking about with this latest move of Tony Johnson kind of jumping the gun on this one. But let's hear it. What do you think about this situation? Again, we're talking about development, bringing businesses to North and South Omaha. But once they get in the community, how are they going to act? How do we respond? How do we relate to these businesses? And this is actually something that hits home for me. I grew up in the area of the TNA grocery. I know it as J&J's. That's what I grew up with it as. My grandma would send me there for store runs at J&J's. Yeah, that's it. You can put it on the screen right there on 42nd in Bedford. I mean, it's pretty much one of the, pivotal, or I'm not necessarily say pivotal, but it's an important store to the community. A lot of community members in that area go to that store for various needs.
Right.
But there's some changes. There's some changes, and I would definitely love to hear your take on this. Against Councilwoman Goodwin has some ideas. She's actually again, city council asked the store to complete a long form liquor license application earlier this year, which comes with some stipulations, excuse me. The business agreed to contract security on weekends, connect exterior security cameras to police networks, and remove alcohol advertisements from its windows to allow views from outside. And also, they're being forced to join the neighborhood association. Now, again, all of this coming on the heels of Omaha police identifying the area of 42nd and Bedford Streets as a crime hotspot just last year. When asked about the situation, Council Member Lavanya Goodwin says that neighborhood engagement piece, that community support for cleanup and litter removal, those are all proven ways that we uplift our neighborhood. It's a great way to champion safety, beautiful neighborhood, and also to ensure the success of a small business. Goodwin says she is excited for the first community meeting in that area. But again, I am hey, RG Bedford Market. Come on now. Come on now. You know what it is, man. Shout out to Earl the Pearl, my grandma, man, who again raised us in that area around 42nd and Lake, man. But yeah, it's something that hits home. It definitely is. Again, my grandma and grandpa did have a history of drinking. You know what I mean? So that liquor store being there, it is it's interesting. I kind of I kind of like how she's going about this as far as not taking the liquor license away completely. That portion, because we've seen what that means for other businesses in North Omaha as far as them losing their liquor license, and then I mean the writing on the wall as far as the business being closed down. And I understand, how many in that area go to that store for, not just liquor but food. I mean, it's a market. It's a market. So
I'm
people shop there
confused.
for food.
Why would they get their? Why were they in threat of getting their liquor license taken away at all? What's the?
Just the area being deemed a crime hotspot, and that store is it's a central location in that neighborhood. Again, a lot of traffic. Just not only people shopping there, but people hanging out there, chilling in the parking lot. I mean, it's a neighborhood store.
So this is what I kind of am starting to remember about the situation. There's been some crime there. People have complained, and Councilwoman Lavanya Goodwin stepped up to say we need to clean up that situation. She's big on cleaning up areas in that kind of way. I think that she's probably amongst a lot of people that we talk to too. That are just like, do we need more liquor stores in our neighborhoods? Type of attitude. But as you say, this is not just a liquor store. I'm still cracking up at the thought of your grandma sending you to the store, like, make it enough.
I've had those trips. If you've seen Friday, it is Friday. Y'all know what we talking about. I've definitely had those trips. A little Mad Dog 2020. Yeah, man.
She going out there and give me my Mad Dog. That's not enough, grandma. Make it enough.
Make it enough.
But it's not just a liquor store. It's also a market, like you said. You produce, meat, all kinds of other stuff is being sold there too. So yeah. At first I was upset a little bit, not upset, but at first I was a little bit skeptical because you know how I feel about paternalism in the first place. I don't like when people try to be punishing you and all that. Do business. Everybody free to do the business they're trying to do. And I don't like that when they do that kind of stuff. And I don't like performative cleanup of the area as well either. Go talk to the owners of the store. Go talk to the neighborhood surrounding it. Do they want the liquor store there? Because that's also something we can sit around and feel like we need less liquor stores in our neighborhoods, but then go to the neighborhood and see if they would like, if the neighborhood wants that that store in the neighborhood. So, I had a little bit of that attitude at first, but the more I'm digging into what exactly happened, the headlines are like they have to they got to go jump through some more hoops in order to keep their liquor license. And I didn't like that hoop jumping stuff. But the more I'm reading into it a little bit, okay, cool, long form, and again, like you said, at least they're able to keep their liquor license. Forcing them to join a neighborhood association, I don't like the word force at all.
Yeah.
Number one, but it would be good if they were part of the neighborhood association and had more. I could see why they were coming up with these ideas on how they can solve some of the crime and some of the problems that are there and around the neighborhood there if they're part of that. Little responsibility as a company to set the tone for the neighborhood. If you're a business that is benefiting from the people around you, maybe you should put a little bit more thought into how you are setting the tone for the neighborhood there and how you can make it a safe space at the very least. So, yeah, what say you? I kind of want to put it out to the chat to see if anybody, especially anybody that's around that area that's affected by that store, that goes to that store, has anything to say about that. That's really what I'd like to hear about more.
I'm kind of, going along with what RG is saying in the chat. He says historic and heavily trafficked. Again, just the amount of people that patronize that store and just how long it's been there. Excuse me. Again, it's a pillar in that area as far as again people and think about the area. We're talking about 42nd, right across the street from where Big Mama's used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So how many, especially those who don't have a car, how many grocery stores are in that area? How many, amenities are really in that area? Not many. It's, again, especially if you don't have a car. So to be able to go to a store like that, to get some eggs, to get some milk, to get some cheese, a bag of chips, you know what I mean? That goes a long way. And that was my grandma's grocery store when she stayed in that area. So yeah, it is kind of a catch-22, again, another liquor store in the hood, but and then also to Tony Johnson's point, he's asking in the chat, in North Omaha, is North Omaha the only community that has a private business with that level of security and cameras connected to official police system? I don't know how I feel about the surveillance in the hood as far as the cameras being piped in directly to the Omaha police surveillance system. Yeah, that's
That was
also
happening with the store. Okay.
yeah, that's also a part of it.
I missed that part. I missed that part. I don't like that at all. Right.
Yeah, they are again required to have security on the weekends and to have the cameras being piped in directly to the police. Those types of things, I'm like, I don't know, but opening up the windows, allowing people to see more light, those types of things, I'm with all that. But yeah, let us know what you think.
Yeah, please let us know what you think for sure. And I wouldn't mind having Councilwoman Goodman on the show to talk about that strategy. It might be a strategy that can be used in different areas and different places that are hot spots, that are places that are having some issues with crime around the area. Everything except for that cameras piped right into the police station. I'm not with that part at all. I understand that we need to try to figure out how to have more safe spaces in these spaces, but that part right there. As a matter of fact, this is a side note we'll get into later, but a lot of these Ring cameras on your house is also getting piped into the police, and because there's a lot of surveillance of our neighborhoods going on, and we got to talk about that too. It won't just be the liquor store area that those cameras are going to be surveilling; it'll be the houses and the people around it. So, not know if I'm with that, but anyway, we can talk about some of that as we go. Shout out to Derek Williams that's giving us a good morning, guys. Good morning to you, Terrace Hayes. What's up, cousin? Said good morning, family.
Hey.
That's what's up. Tony Johnson said North Omaha accounts for 20% of Omaha liquor license approved in last year. Interesting. Okay. Terrace Hayes says actually Quick Trip is the real police headquarters. True. This is true. But I had a cousin that was shot at Quick Trip. So sometimes I'm like, okay, because, part of their police presence at Quick Trip is that they designated themselves a safe space. So if somebody is getting attacked, they can go to Quick Trip, get some protection. So yeah, is it a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not really sure. Not really sure how that pans out. We're not against the police. We think that there's some instances where we need them, but they need to kind of move differently in some ways. And we'll have to really kind of get to that and talk about that. In anticipation for our special guest to come on, we'll take a quick break. And before we go to that, speaking of police needing some new procedures, this is happening on Monday. No knock, no charge. The Amir Locke story, of course, you know about him, who they did a no knock warrant, came in, shot him while he was sleeping on the couch. We've had members of the family on the show before. Karen Wells, who's going to be on the show on Monday, is Amir Locke's mother. This is a new film that the family put together. It's going to be shown at Film Streams on Monday night. So she's going to come Monday morning and talk to us about this as well, because the fight continues on this no knock warrant situation out there in Minneapolis. Yep. So we'll be talking about it, but in the meantime, between time, let's take a quick break and we'll come back and jump back into the conversation. Hopefully we'll have our our special guest here. We're anticipating Melanie Williams, congressional candidate. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God. Stay tuned.
Hey.
Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God. All of you, chat chimers, ghost listeners, not radio listeners, monitoring spirits.
Hey.
Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Maybe radio listeners. Shout out to Bill King, who sometimes puts us on 95.7 The Boss. I don't know if he is this morning. I think his radio show is going on now too, but shout out to him, News Gang, all the people that are involved with kind of disseminating news and having discussion with the public about it. This is what we're here to do. So we appreciate that very much. We mentioned earlier before we went to the break that this movie will be shown at Film Streams, No Knock, No Charge. I think one of the family members is the one that put this documentary together. So this is an event that's happening. It's going to be at Film Streams, Ruth Sokolov Theater at 6:00 on Monday night. And we'll have Karen Wells, the mother of Amir Locke, on the show Monday morning. So stay tuned for that. Also, a little later on in the week, we'll have another congressional candidate. This is Denise Powell, who just got endorsed by Preston Love Jr. We'll be talking to her. Get your questions ready there as well. There's a lot more to come as far as guests is concerned. Chris Baby Boy Bowling from Flatwater Free Press will be coming on soon too. Lots going on there. Lots of people coming through for sure. And we'll be talking about it. So while we're anticipating our guests coming on in, we'll go ahead and jump into some more stories. I just wanted to, this is a Love Supreme Friday, so just wanted to make sure that you know about all the things going on. I'm seeing that people are hitting me up this morning about Michael, about this show coming through. Yeah, so we'll be talking about it. There's a lot to talk about as far as what we're doing this weekend. If you are living live with one another and have any events and things going on as well, we'd love to hear about it. Put it in the chat, put it in Friends of First Guy Omaha. And that's the group page on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you on that. And if you don't mess with Facebook, then you can always hit us up at firstguyomaha@gmail.com. Send us an email and let us know what you got going on, and any flyers you have or anything like that for events coming up. Let us know. We appreciate that. It is a Love Supreme Friday, 7:53 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. And we do have our special guest waiting in the wings. We're going ahead and bringing her in. Ladies and gentlemen, Melanie Williams is joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, how about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm sorry I left you waiting a little bit.
Oh, it's all right. Let me tell you something. I'm so happy that your camera and your microphone work right now. I don't care what happens. So we have a lot of problems sometimes when it comes to the tech, and it looks like you got yours together. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, Anthony Rogers Wright is the one that introduced us and connected us. And so we appreciate him doing that.
Awesome.
And we didn't. So we're learning about you. We checked out your website and learning where you stand and what you stand for. So we're happy to have you on and meet you and hear what you have to say on some issues. So first of all, can you introduce yourself to the listeners for us?
Absolutely. My name is Melanie Williams. I am what I would say a lifelong progressive. I am running as a Democrat, but I am an equal opportunity critic. So I criticize both the Republicans and the Democrats for their failing the American people and really the world. So I'm running as a Democrat just because I think that we have to utilize the platforms that, make it an easier road. And I know that it's very difficult for independents to break through. But I do believe that that Democratic Party voters, just like independents, just like Republicans, they want the same thing. We all want the same thing, which is we want to be able to feed our families. We want to be able to, send our kids to college, and we want them to out of the house and starting their own families as adults instead of having to live at home until they're 40 because they can't afford their own homes. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. So I am a grandma. I am a long time political activist, social justice activist. That's what my whole life has been. And I jumped into this race because number one, I have a long memory. I know a lot of how history repeats itself, and I've been watching this happen for so long. And I have been annoyed that the Democrats the Republicans have it down. They know how to fight for what they want. Democrats do not fight for what we need. And we've seen a lot of examples of that most recently. And we're living at a time right now when we don't have time anymore. We're on the precipice of an authoritarian fascist takeover. And the Democratic Party, in all of its fealty to the donor class, have delivered us right into the hands of it. So, yeah.
So you've had your eye on things for quite some time.
Yeah.
And what parts are you associated with when it comes to Omaha or when it comes to Nebraska in general? Were you born and raised here?
I was born in Minneapolis to actor parents. They were professional actors in Minneapolis. My mom and I moved to Omaha in 1972, I believe, when I was 10 years old. And that was to start a theater here in the old market.
Nice.
Way back when. There was tumbleweed downtown. There was like this old market, and there was not a whole lot going on. But that's how old I am.
I love it.
Yeah. And, just as far as Omaha goes, I have been an activist here in Omaha, as I said, for decades. I think that I've covered every single possible social justice, topic and issue in all of those decades. And I've questioned always, the leadership and the lack of leadership for so long that I just finally decided I'm not hearing what we need to hear from these candidates. And I really do believe that we're right in the space of no more chances. This is it. And I don't believe that status quo politicking is going to get us where we need to be in time. And it never has. It's gotten us where we are. Right. So I just felt compelled, even though I have a new grandson, even though, I'm not the best looking, the best thinking candidate that could possibly have entered the race. I'm the only one who's entered the race on the progressive side. So, it was the very last second, and I was praying that anyone else would get in, any young person, anyone with energy and fresh ideas, and no one did. And I just knew that I couldn't live with myself the day after the ballot closed if I didn't get in. So,
wow.
I
Responsibility.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I kind of did want to dive into your activism a little bit. Kind of the saying comes to mind that people don't necessarily care about how much you know until they know how much you care. And on your website, I wanted to dive into this. On your website, it says in 2010, after your family was seriously harmed by failures in state competency and due process protections, you founded the Family Advocacy Movement. And again, you're talking about history repeating itself. A lot of people are, comparing this current administration to an idiocracy, talking about state competency. So I'm kind of curious to, why you started what happened if you're, feeling up to sharing.
Sure.
What happened in that time in 2010 and, the Family Advocacy Movement and what that meant and what you've done with that.
Absolutely. And, I want to preface this by saying that whatever, like families like mine experience. I know that it's so much worse for other families, especially families who are struggling through poverty, families who are, the subject of bias and racism and all of that is much, much worse. And that's why I founded the family advocacy movement. But in 2009, we had a situation where where child welfare got involved in our lives. And it was the most horrific experience that we had ever, had. I mean, it's the state power, everything coming down, and no getting back, off, backing up the train, even though they were learning that they were wrong, that things were not what they thought it was, and it didn't matter. And it was so traumatic for our kids and for us that after it was done, I was just so committed to making sure that other families weren't going to be going through this alone by themselves, because really it's a lonely place. I don't know if you've ever had any experience with the child welfare or juvenile court systems, but they are very harmful. They cause more harm than they do good. And I was able for 12 years as the founder of this organization, the Family Advocacy Movement, to have families reach out to me so that I could follow their cases, go to court with them, go to team meetings with them, talk with their kids, talk with them, and help provide space for them to have a voice in the system where it doesn't provide a voice. It does not allow families to really have a voice. And so I really can say that, if anyone's going to say that they're going to go to Washington to fight, it'll be someone with the experience of actually fighting something as strong as the state right here in Omaha, Nebraska, and really the whole state. I've been all over the state with the child welfare system. But this is just indicative, I think, of a bigger problem. It's not just child welfare. It's not just juvenile justice. It's the fact that this government does not work for the people. It works for an elite few. It works for those who are privileged. It works, it excludes providing any of us really with a voice. And so we have to fight through that and get a voice, force our voice through. And it's not easy to do. And I think that, for those of us who have had years of experience doing it and have the correct perspective really on working class politics, I think that it's beholden to us to do that.
Yeah. Appreciate you sharing your story there. That's definitely have heard about some of the harm that's being done here in those areas there. So I can see not just the person who has fought in the state, but also who has the fire to fight because of personal circumstances. So we appreciate your sharing that with us. I just want to let people know right now it's 8:02 if you believe in the concept of time, and you're here with First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the God, and we're here with congressional candidate Melanie Williams this morning. If you miss any parts of this, interview, you can always go back and check it out on YouTube. Just want to remind the people in the chat, our chat is a very special chat. We call you guys the chat chimers, our co-hosts. If you have any questions for her, please speak up. We use the chat as if we're speaking to each other face to face. So just make sure that you keep that in mind. We don't really do the trolls, and we don't really have people that lash out and do all that kind of stuff here. We're on deck and on point to all have the same conversation, even in the chat. And if you have any questions, please hold those questions or put those questions in the chat so we can have her answer some of those stuff. I got to get to the meat of the bone here for myself. Because I got excited when I saw your website and saw that you are calling yourself a socialist Democrat or Democratic Socialist.
Democratic Socialist, but
Democratic Socialist. And the only other
terms anyone want, because they're still there.
Okay, there you go. And I appreciate this is one of the reasons why I know Anthony Rogers Wright is involved. You talked earlier about You may not be the smartest or whatever for this thing, but sounds like you're surrounding yourself with very smart people that do have young, smart people that do have good ideas,
That's very true.
and associate yourself with them as well. And again, it's more about the intent and the passion and the way that you have decided to fight. You gain information along the way, so we appreciate that very much. So, but yes, Democratic Socialist. The only other time I've been hearing that recently is my man Mum Dami out in New York.
There you go. Yeah.
And I saw on your website you were talking about universal health care, Medicaid for all. So these are some of the issues that we can kind of dive into, and that's of course one that stands out to me. Who else in the state is pushing for that?
Yeah, no one, no actual candidate anyway. So I think that there are a lot of terms that get in the way of, how people open up and understand politics. And this is one of them, democratic socialism. They're the narratives, how are we going to pay for stuff? And you're just, all you want to do is give things away. And that's, that's kind of like you're trying to buy your vote by promising all these things that you can't deliver on and all of that. And it's like, there's a fundamental misunderstanding about all of these things because that's on purpose. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party don't serve us. They serve their donors. And because of that, if you remember back in, I'm sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. If I don't answer your question, get back to it and say, hey, you didn't answer it. But the 2020 presidential campaign, where Bernie Sanders ran again, and there was this whole field of Democratic candidates trying to keep him out. I remember that one of the narratives was that people should be able to keep their health insurance if they want it. And it's what a bizarre thing. If you really break that down, who the hell loves their insurance? Their health insurance, all that does is stand in the way between them and health care, and so I don't understand how that narrative was able to take hold at all. And I think that it was a failing of Bernie and of the left at the time to not put an end to that narrative right away, because that really is what carried that idea that we not only don't deserve to have Medicare for all in this country, but we can't have it when every other industrialized country on earth has it. And we're the richest. We put more money into healthcare in this country than any country does. And yet we still have subpar care. So if you look at my issues on my site, it was very important to me to list everything that I'm about and what I'm for, because no one else had even a platform on their website at the time. They just go on platitudes. And it works with their, I guess it's not even their base, but it's their clique. You're middle of the road, comfortable Democrat, I guess, who, likes to listen to polished speeches, which I'm not, you're not gonna get that from me. But anyway, they don't listen and look for substance, and they don't hold feet to the fire. And I have been really, really bothered by the fact that all of these candidates, every single one of them, even Kavanaugh, who has got the endorsement, I think, of Pramila Jayapal and the caucus, the Progressive Caucus, Congressional Progressive Caucus. He doesn't, what does he stand for exactly? All you hear is, I'm going to go and hold Donald Trump accountable. People, that doesn't say what they're going to do for us. They're not, what are they going to do different for us? So I know that I get all over the map. Sorry.
You're fine.
It's just flying. But so I think that by my putting all those issues on my site from the day one, it was so that people could understand the difference between platitudes and actual commitment. And those issues aren't just issues that I just throw out lightly. They're issues that I strongly believe in, that I have fought for throughout my life, and that I have articulated the reasons why. And so, it's such a stark comparison between your status quo Democrat or politician in general and a progressive. You can tell the difference, not just in how they sound, but in what they have put out there for people to know is our commitment to fight for. And so I know I probably didn't answer your question because I don't even know what it was, but
I'm gonna share your website here real quick just to let people see what you're talking about here. You got a lot of your issues and things that are here for people to kind of. First of all, I love the style of your website here with the events that are happening right here on the first page. That's a beautiful thing. But you talk about the issues. I'll click issues here. You can start to see some of the things that you're about right here on your website, which is where I some things have stood out to me as far as like abolish ICE, reparations, Medicare for all these kinds of things, free Palestine, hands off Gaza. A lot of your things are right here in front. I put the link to her website in the chat. So if you guys want to take a look at that yourself and kind of dig through it, it'd be a good thing. Definitely check out. But I appreciate that you are putting exactly what it is that you're about there. This is the reason why we wanted to have you on, is kind of to get to know who you were, because we don't have to really wonder what it is you stand on because of the way that you presented things and presented yourself. So I appreciate that very much. Also, Anthony Rogers Wright is in the chat saying Melanie is the only candidate who uses the word genocide to describe what is happening in Palestine. She understands it's a moral issue more than a political issue. There you go.
Right.
Also, Tony Johnson in the chat says Melanie comes across as one who is going to love you to the point that you decide to do something right.
There you go. Something about the website. I appreciate Anthony, his support, but also his energy has been so helpful for me to really get moving, because when I got into the race, obviously, with 2 months left before the primary and no one knowing who I was, it's a long shot, but it also, it's more of a candidacy for choice, for people to have a choice rather than having to vote for either someone who denies genocide, which is Crystal Rhodes. I mean, she has published 2 articles now that professes her love for Israel, even in the face of genocide. And she denies that it's a genocide. And so we have voters watching that, reading that, and thinking, who am I going to vote for? Who either believes, someone who believes that, or people who are just staying quiet, comfortably quiet, which is what most Democrats do. And that is not a winning strategy anymore. That status quo politics is dead. But back to Anthony. When he reached out to find out who the hell I was, because all of a sudden here I am jumping into a race calling myself a Democratic Socialist. And it's like, I don't even know who she is. He jumped right on that and pulled me into a meeting and asked a bunch of questions. And that is the sort of energy that we need to win in November. We can't win. We cannot continue to think that we can change the situation by doing the same damn thing over and over and over again. And that's exactly what we've seen every election cycle.
Insanity.
Yeah, I think so. One thing about the website, it's interactive. So the issues you see that you just shared, where it goes from lighter to darker as you go down the list, people actually vote for what is most important to them.
Wait. Are you telling me that this is like an app where you can vote on the different subjects that you got?
Yeah, well, it's part of, my husband is a web developer. He made the website.
Man.
At the end, if you notice at the very bottom, if you don't see an issue that is really important to you, you can add issues. And then whenever you, decide that one of these issues is one of your top issues, you vote for that, and it gets pushed up to the top and becomes lighter. So it's just a way of kind of allowing people to decide how they want to communicate what's important to them.
You're going to leave us your husband's business card number.
Right. Hey, J. Cole said put it on the app. Hey,
that's why I was like, hold up, did you just say that? Right. Wow. Okay. Thank you for pointing that out. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. And as far as Anthony, I don't think that I would be anywhere as far along, even in 2 months, where I already didn't think I would have as much traction if I hadn't had met up with Anthony.
Well, he's a professional. He's been on some serious campaigns, so I can understand that. But also, I think it definitely, we know him well enough to know it lines up with his politics. We asked him one time who he's going. He said, "Well, at this point, I'm going to write in Mickey Mouse or whoever he said." Because so that was the last time we talked to him about who, because of the, like you're talking about, like the choices. The choices are people that are some of us feel like not going far enough as far as what it is we need to see is changed. Contrary to popular belief, we absolutely Mamdani is my dude. So we don't talk about him much, but
he's so inspiring. And really, if he had not had risen to the top of our consciousness, I don't know that I would have had the courage to enter the race. And that kind of shows you how just one thing that one might do can really have a ripple effect. And maybe my running will also have that effect, where more young people will come up behind and say, hey, if she can do it. And I want to show people how easy it is actually to run for Congress. It's not a mystery. It's, all of this stuff is kind of shrouded in mystery to keep people ignorant and weak and, not effective. But really, I mean, when you think about it, how did all these yahoos do it? It's easy.
I was going to say, Donald Trump showed us that anybody can run.
Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it.
I mean, it takes a little bit of money, but it's not a lot of money. Like for Congress, you have to come up with $1,740, which you can fundraise for if you have a good enough message. You can do that. And that's really all it takes, other than your voice and, ways to help people get to know who you are. But I wanted to get to the fact that I've been really too polite in these, areas, these arenas, and, wanting to play by rules. But I've started to back up and realize we don't have much time. And I'm not running for myself. I'm not running to be comfortable. I'm running to fight for what we need. And when I'm fighting for someone else, it's a lot easier to be impolite, to be forceful and say it like it is, because I don't need to protect myself. I need to fight. And so the Channel 7 interview was really disappointing to me. I think I don't know if you saw it, but there was a Channel 7 candidate forum. They don't want to have debates because they don't want the back and forth, which is really unfortunate. But I could have turned it into a debate if I had just thought about it ahead of time. It's like they gave us 45 seconds, or they gave us a minute and a half to answer questions. But if we were going to address anyone else on the panel, any of the other candidates, we would lose 45 seconds in the next question and they would gain it. And my husband, after the interview, said, you should have just said, I can say everything I want to say in 45 seconds. You can have the other 45 seconds to explain yourself. And just gone down the line and, just address all of these issues with each of them, because they got away with way too much on probably the most important, most watched event of this cycle. So, yeah, that's disappointing to me, but I always have 2028 if someone else doesn't step up.
Yeah, I feel that, but I appreciate your passion with that too. Just to let people know, again, it's 8:18 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're here with First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
And my name is Paul B. We're here with Buddy the God, and we're here with Melanie Williams, congressional candidate. You okay?
I'm okay. coffee one time.
Don't die on our podcast, please.
I promise I'll hold on until the end.
Okay. Yeah, we appreciate it, buddy. I know that you probably got some things in your mind. I have a couple questions to. We're getting towards the end of the. Actually, we're past the point at which we agreed upon your time. But if you wouldn't mind staying a couple more minutes, I
I have
appreciate
a
it.
lot to say, so
Buddy, if you have something you want to jump into too, I have a kind of a last question that I'm going to hold on to here. So, what's on your mind?
Yeah, more so just listening. I appreciate everything that you're saying. I appreciate the energy that you're bringing. I definitely agree that energy is largely missing in a lot of political races. And when I see candidates on the national landscape that present this energy, it is refreshing. And I am kind of curious. All of that is fine and dandy, but you're not running in a vacuum. So I am kind of curious as far as your opinion on the political landscape right now. When we see candidates like Mondami win in New York and some of the successes that he's had, do you feel like people are warming up to the idea of a democratic socialist or democratic socialism, or do you feel like people aren't happy with what they're seeing with genocide and APAC sponsorship of Democrats? What do you feel the political will is right now as far as the nation stands?
I believe that you are onto something. Mamdani is a reflection of exactly where voters are, where not just voters, but just where the public is. People are so tired of being strung along, forced to vote lesser evils, threatened with the worst thing that could possibly happen if you don't vote for me, but they don't ever feel as though they have to give anything up. I once, when I was first beginning to get into this race, I was like, I am so sick of seeing white candidates traipsing through North Omaha during every election cycle, right? And saying, or even not, just expecting the vote, not even
Right.
coming, and then never fighting for North Omaha, even though they're so big about talking about how they're going to fight, right? And the reason I bring that up is because I have been a part of a lot of social justice actions, like against police brutality. I worked a lot out of North Omaha from the Kamani Center for like 3-4 years, where I was able to join, like Robert Wagner with his Project Nose, and a lot of really just street level fights that I think that most politicians, especially, well, I would say, I can't even say especially Democratic Party, all of them, they have no idea of what people want because they're so out of touch. They just live where they live. And so they talk about fighting, but we all know they're not going to fight. I mean, because what experience do they have, and what have they shown us as far as what they're what they're passionate about? All they can talk about is Trump bad, Republican bad. And really that day has come and gone. People are not falling for that anymore. What happens is they don't necessarily vote for the Republican. What they do is they stay home. They don't collect their friends and get them all into a car and go to the polls. They're just not excited. They're not energized. They feel voiceless, and as though nothing will ever change. So when you have someone like Zoran come onto the scene, and you see all of the force of the Democratic Party trying to beat him rather than facing Republicans, just like Bernie Sanders in 2016 and 2020, they put everything they had into organizing to keep Bernie out, just like with Zoran Mamdani. And then they decide that they're going to back these corrupt, hated politicians and crown them, and tell us that we have to vote for them unless we want, the world to end. And then that's exactly where they lead us. They lead us to that place. And so it's a self-fulfilled prophecy, but it's because they're all catering to their donors and not to the people. And I think people are beginning, I think they've gotten there. They're tired of it. They hear it, they know exactly what it sounds like, and they just aren't playing that game anymore. And that's why we have Donald Trump, because we weren't going to have Hillary Clinton, and we weren't going to have Cuomo, as mayor, this disgraced, corrupt politician that somehow, I don't even know how the Democratic Party insiders and, faithful, which I call the blue hats, I don't know how in the world they reconcile. Like, are you for corrupt politicians? Are you for people who do these things, who are hawks and bring us into wars and, extrajudicial killings and all of this? Is that really what you want the Democratic Party to stand for? Because that's what you're supporting. And in this case, it's genocide in Palestine. It's the fact that we as a public are being squished and squeezed so hard, worse than ever, in my memory. And yet we're told that there's no solution other than to just vote for someone who says, I'm going to fight Donald Trump. That's just not going to do it. So I really am concerned about November. If Deb Powell, it sounds like, or Denise Powell, it sounds as though, your typical Democrat is really loving Denise Powell, and they haven't really looked into her. And I've started looking more into her, and I'm very concerned. And one of the reasons that Democrats lose is hypocrisy. It's probably the thing that I hate the most of anything in politics is it's okay if our guy does it. It's not okay if your guy does it. And they both do that. Republicans and Democrats both do that. And it's not lost on the people. People are sick of that.
It's very interesting.
I haven't heard one false word.
We will have Denise Powell on next week. She's going to come on to the show. So
we'll good. Maybe you can have a debate. Can you hold a debate?
That's not really our style. It's not really our style, but we'll help anybody who does want to put something like that together. Maybe Anthony Rogers Wright on his platform should hold a debate. Yep. But I will say, I appreciate everything you're talking about. And I'm glad that you kind of went in that direction too. Just in a few more minutes here, I want to jump to some of the things that you were talking about, because on this show, I got to ask you, what are you going to do for North Omaha? That's kind of what the question is. So you talked a lot about fighting. You dropped some names. We know Robert Wagner. Looks like you've been involved in some of the stuff, and you specifically are saying you're tired of people coming into North Omaha, or even not coming to North Omaha, and still saying we're expecting the vote and never fighting for North Omaha. What are some of the things that you want to do to fight for North Omaha?
Well, first of all, I am absolutely aware that all of the issues that are on my website are issues that will, just like North Omaha is impacted worse during economic downturns. I think that North Omaha will be helped by these policies that I'm fighting for even more. And that's because it just hasn't been there. I mean, imagine how people will be, first of all, uplifted with Medicare for All. We can get rid of that. During the NAACP forum the other day, we were talking about how there is a higher incidence of colon cancer in North Omaha, and or deaths, because people don't get that care ahead of time to be able to detect whether they've got, a problem. And so one of the things, I guess I'm kind of all over the place because I just like everything. I want to do everything. But one of the things that Anthony was really strong about at the beginning was, you need to go here, because this is what you care about. And he set me up with Miss Cheryl Weston, and I really did kick off the campaign at the coal plant in North Omaha. And it's because that coal plant has been polluting North Omaha for decades. They've promised to close it. People are having higher incidence of asthma, cancer, all of this. And it's now going to be staying open still. and it needs to be closed. And my point, I went to the OPPD board meeting after that, and I said, and I testified about how, if it's so safe, like you say, move it to West Omaha. I mean, there's your solution. Then you won't have any problems, right? No, it would be closed down in a day if it were in West Omaha. And we all know that. So I think that when you ask, what will I do for North Omaha? It begins with the perspective of what I must do for working class people, for people in historically oppressed areas of our city. And I think it's also in the rhetoric. It's what I say that no one else is saying. I think that helps a lot as well. I want to educate. I want to advocate. And I want to be active in those areas that we need me to be active in. Against police brutality. I've marched in so many marches in this regard against unjust arrests.
Mm-hmm.
There have been so many, and the rest of Omaha doesn't understand this. They don't see it. But when you're living and working within that community, you see it all the time. And it just it lights my fire, I guess is what I can say. It makes me turn my frustration into active anger. I'm angry, and it drives me forward. But anyone who knows me, like Robert, I love Robert Wagner because of his commitment, I guess. He's not always the most popular person. He doesn't always say the things that are politically correct, and he makes people mad. But he also has a strong heart and commitment for helping people. And that's what I've witnessed, and that's why I care. But anyway, it doesn't really explain everything that I want to do, but it does say that I think you have to start from a basic position of being on the right side of history and fighting against historic oppression. And you have to understand that in order to fight it. So
yeah, and to surround yourself with the right people. It sounds like you're trying to do that as well. So we appreciate that. When you, my last question, when you get to the, when you get elected, you're going to have an office here. You'll have an office in Washington as well.
North Omaha. It's going to be in North Omaha.
It's going to be in North Omaha. Okay, you already know where I'm going with this.
Yes,
because we need to talk about access to the person who's in that seat.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be looking for the makeup of the people that are in your office, people that are maybe connected to North Omaha, not just to being in North Omaha, but also being able to have a call. And we had Senator Kavanaugh on recently as well, and he kind of set the bar. He was like, well, when I win, you got direct access to us. So now I got to ask everybody, will we be able to have direct access to you?
All the time. It already is that way. I mean, I'm not only easy to access, I'm easy to talk to about all of these things because I already understand them and I'm already there.
You've been fighting them.
Yeah, you bet. And, I want to end with one more thing before I can't say this anymore, but I want to mention how the Black children in North Omaha are the poorest per capita in the nation. And I know this because CNN came in 2010 and did a specific story on that very topic. And what we need to realize is that, I mean, we already know this, but the juxtaposition of that reality and knowing that we have one of the wealthiest men in the world living right here in this city, which is Warren Buffett. And we have the Sherwood Foundation, which they tell me, because I've argued with them plenty about their activities in North Omaha, how they pour money into North Omaha, they say. Well, that's interesting because if you're pouring money into North Omaha and children are still the poorest in the nation, then what's your money going to? I think it's going to just buy North Omaha. It's going to buy Omaha, and it's going to buy voices, because we saw when Chrome Lewis was, being attacked by Susie Buffett. people tried to speak out and they were threatened
Hmm.
because they have Sherwood Foundation funding. And I knew about all of this because I'm involved in these fights. I'm right there. So you can bet that I will be right there and I'll be accessible always. Much more,
Mm.
much more than these other candidates. Trust me.
I gotta let you just drop the mic on that moment there. Buddy,
Yeah.
you have anything to add here?
Really, the last thing I have to add is I genuinely liked what I've heard from you as a candidate. The only thing I would say is with all these lofty ideas,
Mhm.
the rubber really meets the road with strategy. The rubber really meets the road with being creative on how to get these things done, and being aware of the political will of the political body that you'll be a part of.
Yeah.
So I would love to see universal Medicare. I would love to see all the things that you're talking about. But we know, especially with the OPPD plan, nuclear is on the way. We've
Mm.
already seen the nation, so again, love your ideas. Let's talk about really,
Yeah.
how to make these things happen
You have
in
to start
reality.
with the ideas
Mhm.
and
Oh
you
yeah,
have to
definitely.
start with the passion, and then the rest of it, yeah, it'll come.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Melanie Williams, she sent over this picture here. This nice angelic picture. We said, oh look, she seems like she's nice. She's fired up. She's on fire. She's on
And
fire.
this is me at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, getting up ready for battle before
There you go.
you even start. So appreciate you coming on again. Shout out to Anthony Rogers Wright for connecting us. I'm glad. Absolutely glad to hear some of the things you had to say as well. And good luck to you. And maybe in the future we'll have you back and we can talk about some things, whether you win or don't win. Seems like you're on kind of the front lines of a lot of the work that's being done out here as well. So love to have met you, and hopefully we'll continue to have some conversation.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one. All right.
All right. There you
There we
go.
go.
There you go.
Yeah.
A lot
Love
of
this.
love in the chat.
I love this. Yeah, a lot of love in the chat. She definitely said some things that might drop at the end, boy. I tell you. Uh, oh, she said some things. I was like, man, we're gonna be talking about some of this stuff for a minuet. Matter of fact, I just talked to Chrome Lewis recently, and yeah, we'll be
Man,
talking.
man, man. Shout out to
Appreciate
the
everybody who joined, who came through. Yeah, Marlon here says I like Melanie. I heard that. The blue hats, Tony Justice.
family.
The way she just got hyped over the idea of the debate. Yeah, man.
Hey, she ready. You ready?
Interesting. This is what I love about this show because I had no idea. And
Man.
we already know we don't bring on people because we're endorsing them. We bring on people because we're trying to get to know who they are, and you just witness us getting to know who somebody is
In real time.
in real time. Heavy. Appreciate everybody that joined us. Let's take a quick break. Yeah, Pop, she's awesome, bro.
Hey, y'all heard it.
What you said is heavy too, buddy. Like I want great ideas. I'm loving the fire. I want to see the connections to the people that can make
Man.
things happen.
I mean, that's the thing because that's what sets Mondami apart. Like everybody, he's not the first person to talk about universal health care and all. He's the first to one of the first to get it done though, and have the ideas and the creativity to get it done. So
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
It's been said with Mamdani, the reason why he made inroads where he did, where Bernie couldn't, is because of the connection to the black. I don't want to say caucus, but just black political power at all. Bernie couldn't really get in there with black folks as much as Mamdani is over here freestyling at events. Like,
Man.
it's there's a thing about if you gonna connect on some things. It's one thing to have the ideas and to say, hey, we would love universal health care, reparations, and everything else, but are you in the? Are you, who at the pit? Who all there is still a question that we ask all the time. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I definitely definitely about the connections. You can have all the smarts in the world. You can have all the great ideas in the world. You can have all the strategy in the world. You can have all the best things to be behind. But if you don't have the relationships, because you can't maintain relationships. You can't turn people to your way of thinking because you are having a hard time influencing people to your line of thought. You're going to have a hard time making any change. But I love the spark, and I love the ideas, and I love some of the things that she said, and yeah, I want to see how it implements, how it pans out, like you said. Appreciate that.
There you go.
We'll take a quick break and come back and finish up. We got about 20 minutes left in the show. Thanks for everybody's comments and respect for the guests. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. We'll be right back, y'all.
Intend to play the role that the Jews played. They're a bunch of megalomaniac warmongers.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. Shout out to the ghost listeners, all the chat chimers, everybody who's in there. RG in the chat says, you rarely see Robert Wagner endorse any candidate for any position, but he was quick to sound the horn for her in the last couple of weeks. Appreciate that info. I missed that horn blast. And you were absolutely right. That's what's up. Anthony Rogers Wright says, Mandani understands there is no separation between policy and organizing. You don't get 100,000 volunteers on your campaign without being proper organizer. Man, this is what we mean. Most
Yeah.
deaf. Also, Tony Johnson says, need hit up her upcoming events. Intrigued. Yes, please. If you do hit those events up, come back with some reports. Let us know how they are if we're not able to be there ourselves. So yeah, appreciate everybody that joined in and was able to tap in with our guest. Seems like for our audience, it's a very, very positive visit. So I appreciate that very much. It is a Love Supreme Friday. So we always talk about what's going on as far as the weekend is concerned. We believe in living alive with one another, being artists. If we're not living our lives and resting and getting some self-care and some family care, and we're not doing our art and we're not living our lives, then what are we fighting for? So we got to remember to take a break and do those things too. So anything that you guys got going on this weekend, please let us know. Put it in the chat. Put it in Friends of First Guy Omaha, the group page on Facebook, or send it to us on firstguyomaha@gmail.com. We'd love to hear about it. We'll be having the mother of Amir Locke join us Monday morning. Shout out to Karen Wells, who's going to come visit us and talk about the film that the family put together that's going to be shown at Film Streams a little later on that day. No Knock, No Charge, the Amir Locke story, happening at the Ruth Sokolov Theater at 6 o'clock on Monday night. So that'll be the next guest that we have. And then, of course, later on in the week, we'll be jumping back into some of the political candidates that have agreed to come and speak to us, so we can get to know them better as well, so we can make some informed choices. Because the election season is coming up, primary is coming in a matter of weeks. We kind of got to get ready for all those things. So appreciate everybody who's part of everything that's been going on here with us. You know that there's a lot of summer things coming up too. We got to kind of mention that there's a lot of events happening, like the Noma Fest, the 5th anniversary Noma Fest. There's going to be some major players here at the Barcades: Mono Neon, Keon Heron, Mohini Day, one of my favorites, Frank McComb, and the legendary Richie Love representing, man. And I really appreciate what Noma Fest has got going on. There's some real musicians, real jazz, and some real superstars coming to the area of the Deuce. And we're here for it all day long and then some. So, appreciate that. I showed this a little bit earlier on the break, too. Benson Film Festival is going on right now. You can still go get tickets and go check out the rest of the festival for the next couple of days. Over at the Benson Theater. Shout out to the Benson Creative District. Shout out to BFF, everybody who in the Benson Film Festival, all the Benson entities that are putting this together. It's really growing over the past few years. And there's a whole lot of filmmakers out in North Omaha that kind of have been able to show their films and stuff at the Benson Film Festival, because remember, Benson is North Omaha. Shout out to Benson Film Festival, for real. Let us know what you got going on this weekend. A lot of people going to see Michael. This is one that a lot of folks that don't really get out and do much told me they're getting out this weekend to go see this. Let us know if you are as well. If you've heard anything about the movie, we'll talk about it next week too. We'll mention it. We talk about a lot more important things here than going to see a flick. But hey, we also love this part too. This is very much a part of what it is that we are and what we do. And again, we figured out how to tie some of these things in together with what it is that we're fighting for here as well. So shout out to everybody who's making plans to go do that. With that, buddy, let's go ahead and jump back into wrapping up the show. We appreciate your patience with me going through all these haps and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But we definitely want to keep in mind this is a Love Supreme Friday.
Man,
Live alive with one another. Do your art, do your music, feel inspired, get fired up like Melanie Williams on fire.
all of that. And man, I definitely want to pick up right where you're leaving off as far as the Michael film, the Love Supreme vibe in this last 15 minutes or so of the show. And just talk about some of the things that are available out there, especially hitting close to home for us, film and storytelling, and of course that is what we try to do here as far as blending North Omaha and South Omaha and having the community tell its own story. That's what we're all about. And I'm hearing a lot of the people who are high on the Michael film are high on it because of who's telling that story. When we talk about biopics and films of that matter, and I'm gonna reel it back into what's going on here in Nebraska. But again, who's telling the story is the big part, and a lot of people are high and excited about this Michael film because the person that's playing Michael is actually Michael's nephew, who has been preparing for this role pretty much his whole life. Actually, I believe there's been conversations between I forget his name, but Michael's nephew and possibly Michael about him playing this role. So again, that's kind of rare when you talk about biopics, especially somebody to this magnitude. A lot of times you see lawyers and families and other entities try to come in and hijack the story, hijack the situation, and
Right.
make a buck off of somebody's story. But the fact that the Jackson family is central to this, central to telling the story, is enough of the reason for you to go out and support it, man. So definitely go and do that. And I say all that to say it is very interesting as I'm watching this whole Standing Bear situation because again, who's telling the story, who's supporting the story is one aspect of the conversation, and then of course following the money here in this season. How is Nebraska responding and supporting something that's near and dear to us, and also a very very integral tool in storytelling when you talk about biopics, films, film projects. And if you haven't heard about this, a lot of controversy around the telling of the life and story legacy of Chief Standing Bear, who is again a Seminole chief, or not necessarily Seminole in the tribal aspect, but Seminole as far as just his legacy, who he was, his stance. Again, one of the well-known chiefs in American history. Again, Chief Standing Bear is the subject of this film, but there's a lot of controversy surrounding again the funding of the film. Nebraska's Department of Economic Development actually awarded $5 million to the production of the film to a company called I Am a Man in 2023. Those funds, along with another $5 million in matching funds from a Hollywood company, were meant to use to create the Chief Standing Bear biopic. But again, State Auditor Mike Foley said the DED never verified those matching funds and actually ended up paying I Am a Man more than $4 million in grants before the report came out, again, securing the matching funds. In a statement, Foley says, now they're trying to negotiate with the department, saying, well, we can make a $3 million movie and make it look like a $10 million movie. Well, now it doesn't work that way. Now, Foley says it's a movie. It's very expensive to produce, and I think the viewers deserve, the taxpayers deserve a full $10 million production. Now, Foley added at least some revenue from the movie would have helped underserved communities in Omaha. That money likely will not make its way to communities now based on where the funding is. And again, there's a sculpture of Chief Standing Bear. Of course, there's a Standing Bear Lake out in northeast Omaha. Yes, RG, thank you. Seminole, not Seminole. Yes.
Not Somali. We get it right.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate that we we've been talking about some of this major funds that have come through the DED. So that's already unfortunate. Also,
Man, yeah.
I believe Anthony Rogers Wright always calls Mike Foley Elliot Ness Foley.
Yeah. He's not playing with the audits.
Axel Foley policing things again. He's not playing with when it comes to the money. You talking about following the money? He'll follow the money to somebody's pocket, and you're like, get out of my pocket, Foley. What you doing? But
Man.
this is something else. Also, okay. I'm looking at you guys talking about Michael film, but yeah, it's unfortunate. I hope that this film is gonna get done. I mean, it's a really important film that needs to be getting done. It's unfortunate they got these hangups here. We're trying to open up the state a little bit more for filmmaking and creation in the
general.
first place, and the fact that there was money coming from the DED to be able to do something like this, that would have been
Yeah.
huge for that movement. So it's really
Yeah.
unfortunate this is happening.
Yeah. And again, it is very interesting, this whole situation. There's a couple other major film projects that some money are moving around in the state, but we're definitely keeping a close eye just on the landscape, mainly the landscape, especially as we talk about the state going broke, and me living here in Georgia and seeing how Georgia has benefited and responded and reacted to the film industry. Of course, Tyler Perry Studios is here, but there's many, films that are shot here in Atlanta because of how the state is favorable to the film industry, and how some of the revenue, as is actually explained in the article, how some of the funds from the Standing Bear movie was supposed to go to communities in Omaha, and how again that can generate tax revenue, and what that means for the quality of life of people who live in these communities. So it's not just about the art, which is definitely a big part to us, but it's also about that bag, about following the money. So
I
and
feel that.
definitely, and again, to the point of telling the story of a person like Standing Bear.
Man, so important for the state. I like the fact that when it comes to this piece as well. You're talking about this film that could be made. You're talking about Atlanta, the comparisons to Atlanta, and I'm thinking about there's Tyler Perry Studios, but even before that, whenever you see anything on movies and TV that has that Georgia peach at the end, shout out to Dallas Austin. Shout out to Dallas Austin.
Yeah.
Who got the film, who got it going a long time ago. I was in California when they were firing that up, and LA was like, man, Hollywood, everybody moving to Georgia. What's happening? Like,
Man.
Hollywood was feeling the pinch even back in the day, and that came from what they did there. So there is a way to kind of put a spot on the map with this kind of stuff, and there's so many stories to be told, and so many resources that we could be pivoting to in order to get some of those stories told. So this is an attempt to make that happen, and the fact that it's getting held up here, not good. No, I'm not feeling it.
Not a good look at all. Not a good look at all. So yeah, again, hopefully, cooler heads prevail, and as far as the funds and the matching funds and all that situation, again, lays a groundwork and sets a precedent for more of these types of projects to come out.
Word up. Appreciate that. 8:51. If you believe in the concept of time, we appreciate you joining us. We got a few more minutes left in the show to wrap up. If you got any haps happening, please let us know. Put it in the chat. Put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page. Let us know what's going on this weekend. We'll be talking about it. Here's one more before we get out of here. YP Sip and Social is going on at Odo Hi-Fi Lounge, one of my favorite places in the city right now. And big time shout out for Urban League for trying to do some stuff with the young folks and try to get the name out and do some things. Last Friday of every month, this is happening from 6 to 9 at Odo. If you haven't been to Odo yet, please go check out Odo Hi-Fi Lounge, one of the premier event spaces in the state, as far as I'm concerned, on a world stage is what they are doing over there at Odo in a big way. It's over there in the Exarban complex there, right across from the movie theater there, 1917 on South 67th Street, Suite 140. Bring a friend, grow your network. Shout out to Urban League. Shout out to YP at Urban League, Nebraska, and also shout out to Odo Lounge for this. Something to do. Let's get busy with it.
There you go. Speaking of something to do in this last 7 minutes or so, I'd like to wrap up with this story on the sports, this Fair Game Project, which is, again, where it's all about the love supreme for us, a couple of artists, but for the young folk who are not about the arts, who might not want to make a film or who might not want to go to the culture house or anything. There's some sports things out there for the folk, and I'm definitely excited about this. And we're following the money on this situation because, of course, bats, helmets, basketballs, hoops, that stuff costs money. So, again, shout out to everybody behind the Fair Game Project, which launched to expand sports access for Omaha students. The new sports federation unveiled at Burke High School in Omaha earlier this week, will serve all 87 OPS schools and more than 52,000 students. Again, founded by North Omaha native and Omaha Central alumnus Josh Jones. Shout out to him. In efforts aims to unite OPS athletics under one system, create clearer pathways from elementary through high school, and improve access to facilities. He says, I cannot believe that North and South Omaha Public Schools are all coming together. It's amazing. Also a part of this, Chief of Staff Thomas Warren, of course, representing Mayor John Ewing. Shout out to Mayor John Ewing and his staff. They say that the city is committing more than $100 million in sports facility upgrades. That includes a $45 million multi-purpose activity center at Levi Carter Park, which we've been talking about. Also, an $8.5 million baseball and softball complex, which is huge. We haven't really talked about it, but during the time of the College World Series, there's also a youth national baseball tournament that happens in Omaha. I learned about this a couple years. But when we talk about economic development, what kind of money can that bring into North Omaha, especially if we have a baseball complex located near Levi Carter Park? Also, a $50 million soccer complex with 16 fields, which again, soccer has actually been identified as one of the top sports amongst our youth in a recent study as well. So again, a lot of investment following the money. Data shared actually by the Aspen Institute's Project Play initiative shows that OPS has met the national benchmark for youth sports participation at about 64%. So again, a lot of our youth are actually active in sports, but of course, barriers remain. Of course, the facilities, access to equipment, things like that. Organizers say many students reported that they do not have or know how to get started, while cost was cited as a barrier across age groups, races, and genders. As somebody who has played baseball, golf, I was on a swim team, I played football, I was in basketball. Not only is the equipment, I mean, camps, coaching, traveling to tournaments, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a barrier. Sometimes it's a
Yeah.
barrier to being able to even be involved. Remember last week they had that all sports summit. Shout out to Marlon Harrison, man about town, the man on the street, went down and checked it out, and brought back some photos, brought back a little summary of how this went. So this is on the move. This all sports summit fair game project is on the move. We appreciate what it is they're doing. And here again, buddy, just to reiterate some of the things you said there, City of Omaha committing more than $100 million in facility upgrades. Includes newer complexes for multi-use activities. The initiative will begin basketball, football, and volleyball. Shout out to Channel 7 KETV for covering this and breaking this down as well. It's a wonder. It seems to be some really great information. And I gotta say, for a guy who's not really a sports guy, I've been really excited about some sports stuff going on in Omaha lately. I'm just saying, man. I pass by. I'm driving down Ames every day, looking at what's going on at the complex there at North Omaha, North High. You know, all the stuff that's coming, the soccer field, even. I mean, like, there's an opportunity here. When I would talk to somebody like maybe 10 years ago and be like, you know, what's going on in Omaha, and talking to people that live elsewhere. You know, College World Series was one of the things that I had to mention. That is a big deal here every year. A lot of people come here for it. It's a huge event. A lot of people's businesses are made on College World Series time alone. Restaurants, bars, and other facilities, because it's that huge. I mean, what if we had soccer that huge, basketball that huge? What if we had softball that huge? What if we had these other? What if we had video game complexes that huge here? What if we? You know, there's a lot that can happen here with all this space and all these places that we can build business. A lot of opportunity for those of you that are into the thing. A lot of opportunity. I speak to a lot of women too who are all about women's sports out here in a big way, and really want that bigged up more than it has been and expanded. We can't forget about the volleyball situation out here. It's huge.
Biggest thing going nationally, actually. Like, Nebraska volleyball is dominating the national landscape. Also, gymnastics in Nebraska and Iowa. I mean, we've had some Olympic gymnasts come out of Iowa, right across the river, man. So yeah, a lot of sports in this area. Actually, I do want to give a shout out to a fellow Rattler, Omaha news gang, Cerise Cole. Her son just got a Jackie Robinson scholarship for baseball. So again, shout out to Cerise. And I didn't know she was a fellow Rattler. Strike again. Shout out to all my Rattlers out there.
I love me some Cerise Cole.
Hey, shout out.
She the best. I appreciate it. I'm seeing Michael Watts in the chat saying, "Hit up Gene Starther show and let her know your thoughts on this." There was a lot of back and forth about the Gene Starther show on the
Yeah.
First Guy Omaha. Michael Watts, you work for the channel. What you
Hey,
got
he
going
says,
on?
hopefully they take my call.
He's pick her brain about how North Omaha can be strong part of this from city. I don't care to
Yeah.
pick her brain about that much.
I'm
It's
sure
all
she has
good,
all
bro.
the ideas.
Yeah, I'm ready to talk to some folks that can make some moves now.
That part.
Yeah, man. Let's what's up. RG said, "What if we had the Final Four?" That's what I'm saying.
I mean, we used to have there was some March Madness, I believe, district games in Omaha a couple years ago. Of course, we had the Olympic trials a couple years ago. I mean, it's our geographic location that's prime for these type of national, especially collegiate youth types of tournaments and organizations, and that could be a big money driver. Again, I talked about the youth baseball tournament that happens simultaneously while College World Series is going on. That's in Omaha. That's a national youth baseball tournament that happens. How much money is coming? How many of our local teams are part of those things? Let's talk about it.
Most def. But we're gonna have to talk about it another time because it's 9:00.
Yeah.
If you believe in the concept, it's going down. It's time for us to get off the air. We didn't get a chance to talk about the grocery store too much, but we're gonna have our man Dominique Ram from
Yes.
the Heart Ministry Center on shortly in the next week or so in order to talk about what's going on here. I definitely got word. Speaking of stuff that Sherwood does around here, I got word. The word was that there were some other people behind this thing. So I was happy to find out Heart Ministries is one of the organizations behind this. And Dominique Ron said he had his head down working on it. That's why we didn't hear nothing about it. So that's what's up.
Man.
We're going to have him on. We'll talk about that. My man Dom on the show. Also, something else I want to talk about later. Has anybody heard of this Pope Leo Village? Something that struck my attention here on social media feed. Where is it at? And what's going on? And who's behind it? And this is interesting. Pope Leo Village in Omaha.
Yeah.
It's around our neighborhood somewhere, so we'll dig into a few things. Again, don't forget we're going to have the mother of Amir Locke, Miss Karen Wells, on the show on Monday. She'll be promoting the movie that's happening that evening. No Knock, No Charge, the Amir Locke story. Film Stream. Shout out to Film Streams and the Ruth Sokoloff Theater, who's playing this at 6:00 on Monday. Get your tickets. Let's support that as well. Shout out to her. You guys know the story, but we'll be telling it some more on Monday as well. So appreciate all of you who joined us today. Anthony Rogers Wright, appreciate you setting me straight. Said, nah, Paul, can't give him Axel. He's for our people, and Herbie Hancock will never write a song for Mike Foley. You got that right? No, yeah, I take that back. He ain't Axel Foley. He Elliot Ness Foley. Got you. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody that's come through. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Man, big shout out to our guest today, Miss Melanie Williams. Definitely check out her website and make sure you vote. Make sure you voting on them issues. I like that. Yeah, again, check that out. In the meantime, between time, take care of yourselves. Live a life with one another. It's supposed to be beautiful out this weekend. Get active. Get busy, man. In the meantime, between time, catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Guy Omaha in the morning. Paul B.
In the morning.
Hey, again, it's going to be a heavy one on Monday, but we got to talk about it. So definitely come through. And until then, Paul B.
Yo.
Take it away, man.
Just want to tell people we are still on a mission to create an army of citizen journalists. This is what this is all about. Our Content Creator Camp 2026 is going to be fired up first day on May the 9th. It's a 4-part workshop. You'll be writing an article or doing some kind of news piece over the 4-week course. If you have anybody who's interested in this, please let them know. Hit us up at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. If you are interested, let us know. And if you can't make it and you can't do this and you know somebody who could, please let them know. It's going to be an opportunity for us to live alive with one another, get together in person, and learn some of the tenets of journalism and sharpen your content creator skills as well. In the meantime, in the process, we do this. We can start telling our own stories. We can be trusted sources in the community to tell our own stories. We're trying to build an army of citizen journalists in order to be able to hold those in power accountable. This is what this is all about. So please hit us up, firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. We got a short time here before we fire these up. We definitely need people to participate. Even if you've participated before, let us know that you want to come back for another session with us at the Content Creator Camp 2026. With that, I'll be looking into firstsky@gmail.com email in order to see who's hitting us up. Let us know. We want to hear from you. We definitely want to hear from you, and we'll get that fired up as soon as we can. So shout out to everybody who joined us today. I see. Oh man, you guys are going through it. Pop says another great week of shows. Thank you, Paul and Buddy, for creating this incredible community. Have a great weekend and see you all on Monday, God willing, and the creek don't rise. Heard that, Pops. Appreciate you. Most definitely. Anthony Rogers Rice says, now that damn bass line going to be in my head all day. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that bass line being in your head for sure.
Yeah, little Herbie.
Heather Williams says, have a great weekend, everyone. Also, Elizabeth in the chat. I haven't heard you seen your name in a while. Said, how old do they have to be for content creator camp? I guess high school age up. You know,
Yeah.
Old enough to write an article. You can be 13, I guess. You know, I was writing at 13, so I don't think we have a age limit here at all. So
have an ideal kind of range, but if you want to get down,
got to be able to write your own news piece. So you can't, you know, we're not teaching people the ABCs or nothing. So appropriate age. There you go. Appreciate that. Also, take a 70-hour siesta until showtime Monday. Hey, boy, that sounds good.
I wish.
Yeah, man.
I don't know though. 70 hours, that might have some problems. You sleeping for 70 hours.
Yeah. I guess you go sleep the whole time, but I can see taking 70 hours off. I can tell you that. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Well, catch up on a few movies. Go see Mike.
Boy can dream, can he?
A boy can dream. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you on Monday. Take care of yourselves. Shout out to the Umaha tribe elders for allowing us to speak on this land, be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders allowing us to speak before you. Shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. We appreciate all your comments, your questions. We appreciate you using the chat as if we're speaking to each other face to face and giving respect to our guests. We appreciate everybody who joins us continually. Tell a friend. If you miss any parts of the show, go back and check it out on YouTube. Like and subscribe while you're over there. And also shout out to the members of the channel as well. All the $10 people, all the $25 people, all the $50 people. Thank you for becoming members of the channel so we can continue this. If you're so inclined and haven't done so yet, please go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the join button and become a member of the channel so we can sustain this and keep it going and keep these conversations flowing and hear from you, the people. That's what this is all about.
The peoples.
It's all about the people. We the people. Let's make it happen. Appreciate everybody and talk to you soon. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you Monday. Peace.
By the way, Van Glory.